Just want to say that you have recorded a video where you go really deep on this, on the upcoming crash that you say is going to be fast, bloody, and unavoidable. But you also explain how people can position themselves to profit from it. Again, people can watch that video at londonreal.tv/Jim. I highly recommend everyone watch that video. It won't be available on socials. I've got to ask you about something happening today in the States, and that's the indictment of Donald Trump, former president of the United States. What is your take on what's happening there and what the consequences will be like for the next year and maybe longer?
Well, obviously, it's a challenge for Donald Trump. My expectation, this may not even go to trial. This case is so flimsy, ginned up, blatantly political, kind of hard to describe. And you're very kind at the introduction, Brian, to mention I'm an economist and analyst. I also happen to be a lawyer, so I know a little bit about that side of things. There's an aspect of this that may be litigated to the United States Supreme Court before this ever gets to trial, and because it would be one of your opening motions. And if it gets to the Supreme Court actually won't care about Alvin Bragg, Donald Trump, or anything else. They might care a lot about the constitutional precedent that they're trying to set, which is the following. You got to show a crime, right? So what's the crime? Well, they're saying he violated the business. Everybody says, hush money to a porn actress. Well, hush money to a porn actress is actually legal. I'm not saying it's commendable. It's legal. I said, I don't know how many, employment related sexual harassment type cases I settled in my career. Every business does it every day. I hated those cases. They were always a mess, but you basically gave somebody money, got a non-disclosure agreement, and life went on. And that's what this was. But they want to play up the porn side of it because obviously it's, doesn't reflect well on Trump. But technically, when the money changed hands, you got to record it in your records, books and records. And New York State has a business records law that's basically civil. You're not allowed to fake your records, et cetera. Because it wasn't recorded as hush money to a porn actress. I don't know what you're supposed to say in the ledger, but something more than, legal fees, I guess. I don't know. We always said legal fees. But the original payment, whatever it is long outside the statute of limitations. And the business records law is outside the statute of limitations, with one exception, which was if the business records violation was to cover up a crime, then the statute of limitations is longer on that particular business records violation. So they had to come up with a crime on the other side of the ledger to extend the statute of limitations on the ledger entry to make the whole thing a crime. Well, what's the crime? Because again, hush money to porn actors is not illegal. Well, the crime was it's a violation of Federal Election Commission rules because his motive was to cover it up because he was running for president. Now that's a stretch because I can think of 100 reasons for settling, allegations, false or real. You got people throwing mud at you, get it out of the way, settle the case. So, and by the way, there was a famous case. John Edwards was running for president who did something similar, illegitimate child mistress kind of thing, but he paid that person off, and it was alleged that it was a campaign violation, and it was litigated in a criminal case, and Edwards was acquitted. The jury said that's not, it's personal, again on you, but not a campaign violation. So we even had precedent that that's not a campaign violation, but Bragg says it was, and therefore there's the crime, and therefore the business records exception, criminal cover-up rule applies, and we're still in the statute of limitations. So that's how tortured this whole thing is to begin with. But here's where it falls down. That federal election violation is a federal law. Now, we have a federal prosecutor system, United States attorneys. There's like one, sometimes two or three in every single state. The United States Attorney's Office in New York looked at it and said, no, we're not taking this case. So here, Alvin Bragg is the U.S. federal system. He's a county prosecutor. He's not even the state attorney general for New York. He's a county prosecutor, what we call DA, district attorney. And he's creating a crime that's highly attenuated, but the ultimate crime that extends the statute is a federal crime. So here's the constitutional question. Can a county DA bring a federal case? It's never been litigated because no one was ever dumb enough to try it. But now we have our man. So, but I'm sure Trump's lawyers will be arguing statute of limitations, political motivation, and a lot else besides. But evidentiary thing. But it may be that the first stake in the ground is this is unconstitutional because a state DA cannot bring a federal case. And that's something the Supreme Court would be very interested in. This is now we're getting back to Marbury versus Madison, but this thing it's a disgrace. Beria, who of course Lavrenti Beria was the head of the NKVD, the secret police under Stalin. Before the KGB was around, but this was back in James Bond days. So, but Lavrenti Beria was the head of the secret police under Stalin, and he said to Stalin, "Show me the man, I'll find you the crime." Meaning, tell me who your victim is. We'll find the crime. That's the easy part. And that's kind of what this looks like. This is just this, Trump derangement syndrome, which I think psychologists in future will treat as a medical condition. But people just lost them. This isn't like, oh, I like you, I don't like you, I'm voting for you, I'm not voting for you, whatever. This is like a disease, and their obsession with Trump. And he's skated on everything so far. They, the tax records, remember that? They got the tax records. There's nothing there. It's like, it's a consolidated return of like 100 real estate entities. And so what? I mean, I used to be International Tax Counsel of the Citibank back in the days before electronic filing. We used to send our tax return in a truck, because that's how big it was. So that nothing came of that. Nothing came of Russiagate was a hoax. The impeachment was a hoax. The tax returns were like boring. They haven't been able to nail this guy, but now they're going too far. But so I think it's a disgrace. I think it's a politicization of the law. It's in derogation. It's bad for the law. It's bad for civil society. It's inflaming passions on both sides. The mayor of New York the other day said, I know there are going to be demonstrations when Trump shows up for his arraignment, but I want everyone on their best behavior. And I sent out a tweet. I said, I don't remember the mayor's office talking about best behavior during the George Floyd riots, Antifa, BLM, burning police cars, running cops down in the streets, smashing windows, turning Fifth Avenue into a ghost town. I don't remember anyone saying be on your best behavior. So that's how bad it is. I could go on, but I guess as a lawyer, all the political vitriol, all the social disruption, the derogation of law, it's all there and it's all bad. But I'm a little bit intrigued by the fact that there's maybe a world historic constitutional issue at the heart of this case that may go to the Supreme Court before we ever see a trial.
So Jim Rickards has just recorded a video that's not available to anyone in the public, and he's going to be talking about how this upcoming recession is going to be fast, it's going to be bloody, it's going to be nasty. But at the same time, he's going to show you how you can position yourself to profit from all of this chaos. Now, we've made this video only available to our viewers. Go to londonreal.tv/Jim. Watch that immediately. I can't say enough good things about Jim Rickards. He understands the global economic system better than any guest I've ever had on London Real. His predictions are almost uncannily true, and you can learn how to profit from his vision, from his expertise, and his understanding of economics. So go to londonreal.tv/Jim or click the link below. It's an excellent, excellent look on what's going to happen in the future and how you can position yourself to profit from that. Jim is one of the best in the business, one of my favorite guests on London Real, and he's very, very good at predicting the future and showing us all to profit from it. So click the link, and I hope you enjoy. The greedy bankers are about to do it again. In 2008, they crashed our financial system and nearly bankrupted the entire global economy. Then they received trillions of dollars in government bailouts. And after, they demanded fat bonuses paid for by you, the taxpayer.
It turns out the banks haven't just been screwing the American taxpayers, they're also screwing over their investors. Turns out the banking industry is the worst place you could put your money, despite enormous taxpayer bailouts.
Now the bankers are back to take away your financial freedom. They lie and tell you that cryptocurrency isn't safe. They try to make it illegal for you to choose how to invest your hard-earned money. They lie and say cryptocurrency is used by money launderers and criminals.
But look at the record. It's the banks themselves that launder hundreds of billions of dollars every year to the biggest criminal operations in the world.
Leaked documents have revealed how some UK banks have helped criminals, money launderers and Russians under sanctions.
American authorities discovered that the Sinaloa cartel moved $881 million through HSBC accounts as bank officials turned a blind eye to the illegality.
The bankers lie and say cryptocurrency is not a real investment. Meanwhile, the smartest CEOs in the world are buying billions and billions of it. The truth is that banks lie about cryptocurrency because it makes them scared. The banks take $9 trillion per year of your hard-earned money, and they are worried that they will finally be exposed. They're scared because crypto means they can no longer control your money, which means they can no longer control you. They are scared because you might actually understand your money and intelligently decide what to do with it. Now is the time for us to come together, fight back, and take control. It's time to educate ourselves, our families, and our communities. Because financial education means financial freedom. We know that cryptocurrencies will help us build the new decentralized financial system of the future. A banking system that is of the people, by the people, and for the people. A banking system where access to finance is a fundamental human right. A banking system that is free and fair and welcomes all humans on this earth. The DeFi revolution is happening. We, the people, can no longer be fooled. We choose to take control of our finances. We choose to take control of our freedom. We choose to take control of our future. Join us, and let's take back our financial freedom forever.